I want everybody to be treated equal. Equal as equal can be. You know, and if one department gets 50 cents, I want every department to get 50 cents. So therefore, is that all clear? That's my opinion, and it's an honest opinion. Thank you.
I'm willing to give anybody a fair shot for doing their job, bottom line. If they're providing what their contract is, they've signed in their contract, if they're not violating that, if they're not violating any laws, as long as the superintendent is providing for our kids, which he's got to give to the teachers first, that's all you can ask. And I haven't seen anything yet that I didn't like.
I guess, first of all, I'm going to apologize. I didn't want to give the appearance that I was screwing with my phone up here while Boogie was talking, but my babysitter needed our Wi-Fi password to do her homework, so I apologize for that. My wife can attest, I just sent her a text to have her deal with it. So, I want to let it be known that I signed the petition that said the no confidence or lack of confidence or put forward the no confidence vote for our superintendent. I can honestly say now it's probably one of the worst decisions I've made since we've moved here. I know, again, it goes back to the management of change. Did everything go according to plan like it should have? Probably not. And I'm sure the superintendent will tell you that. But the change happened. And again, touring through the school and seeing what's happening now inside of the school versus what I saw last year in the school is completely different. The feel is so much better, so much more welcoming to our students that you can't debate it. Ask teachers. Granted, you have to be selected in who you ask. You know, a lot of the teachers that left are probably not as happy with the superintendent as the teachers that are currently there. But the vibe and the feel within the school walls as to the current administration and the staff that's in place now is tremendous. And I, for one, again, I agree with Woody. If you're doing your job, you're doing your job. If you're not doing your job, then we need to look at things. But everything that the superintendent has done, and this board has approved and voted on, is public record, once again. So we can go out and we can look and see what actually has happened, and who has actually voted what way and who has voted the other way. So take what you hear and what you read with a grain of salt, and find the facts out for ourselves. And let's make the decisions as a community, not as a single entity.
I take what I read, maybe what I hear with a grain of salt at times. I take what I see at face value, right? And so I disagree with some of the comments that have been made here. When we're talking about a superintendent, we're talking about leadership, high-level leadership. It is more than just following laws. If the high-level leader is just following the rules, you have a problem. I don't care if you're in a school district, a company, an organization, or a military outfit, you have a problem. So, I fully support what the Board of Education did. Granted, I don't know all the details because a lot of stuff does happen for good reason in closed session, and I respect closed session. I fully appreciate that. So, I agree with what they did in choosing not to renew the superintendent's contract. And I do that after a lot of deliberate thought. Mr. Klein, I wish you had been to more school board meetings, and you might and you would know that it's more than just rumors. For those of you who have been faithful attenders, you've seen that. I was sitting in the school board meeting in June of 2012, but there were 5 people in the audience. So I wanted to see what was going on, and I generally go to things like that wherever I live. And I watched the superintendent bid on a large contract for the organization with which he is charged to trust. I was aghast. I had never seen anything like that in 21, at that time, 22 years of federal service. And he put the board in a very bad position. And unfortunately, the board voted to give him that contract. And thanks to our fine paper, with whom I don't always agree, and the McPhersons know that, I tend to vote one way, Beth votes another, but we often disagree over editorials, but I will give them this: they have done their due diligence on this measure of the school board and covering the school board. And so the Chronicle did a sunshine law request, and it wasn't the low bid. We opened ourselves to legal exposure there. And so we have the Chronicle to thank for that. And in fact, they won an award from the Missouri Press Association for that. And Mr. Klein, I do appreciate rumors don't fly in court. I'm pretty familiar with what does fly in court. I didn't say it in my bio, but I'm also an attorney, and I've been in court, so I got that. So we saw that happen, and there were a few tip-offs that things were done a little differently under the current superintendent. And so when you take that, and by the way, the school board decided to give the superintendent more chances, and that's fine. But I will tell you, I consider the superintendent to be a lucky, lucky man. And he's lucky because the school board gave him more chances, and the school board did not treat him the way he treated those underneath him. He's a fortunate man for that respect. So I saw lots of fumbles after that, on bidding, whether it's irrigation, various things. And then I saw real problems with our teachers and our staff. And let me be very clear. High-level leadership is about people. The Army's motto is mission first, people always. Every place where I got to be the boss, I changed around in my little area for people first, mission always. If you take care of people, the mission will get taken care of. And so a lot of us saw some teachers that were not treated with the key you want out of high-level leadership. They must treat human beings with dignity and respect. And I personally did not see that. I was aghast at how some people were treated. And we could go through examples. And I'm going to go through a couple. Because listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is not hard. There are a lot of things in life that are hard. There are hard things. And we will be confronted with hard things. We've talked about a lot of hard things. Treating people with dignity and respect is not hard. And when you have a principal that spends 27 years at a school district, irrespective of how you think if it's time for a change, I'm an Army guy. There are times, ladies and gentlemen, I think changes in leadership is good every few years. It brings new blood in. I understand that. Irrespective of what you think about Mr. Waddell's leaving, the reality is it was certainly done in an unacceptable manner. So I saw the exodus of the teachers when the retirement plan was offered, and then to my amazement, I saw more teachers leave who were not retirement eligible, who went to other jobs, and the attorney in me, the father in me, wanted to know why. So I asked a lot of questions. I've asked a lot of questions over the past 18 months, 2 years. So I called a lot of teachers, retired and those who left. And I did not talk to all of them, so I want to be very clear on that. But since we didn't have access to the exit interviews, I wanted to know why they left. And I did not talk to all of them, but I talked to several. And this is one theme I got. This is a quote from 2. You know, I want to stay at West Platte. It's a great community. I did not trust the administration, and I did not feel valued at West Platte anymore. That's a direct quote from a very, very popular teacher who did not retire. And that is a very, very sad thing. That is unfortunate, and that is unacceptable. And so I started asking more questions about why people left. Because I was hearing a lot of, well, they chose, they got better jobs, they're making more money, and I did not find that at all. There's probably somebody out there, because we lost a whole lot of people, and we're all busy, I couldn't talk to everybody, but none I talked to. Because this is a great place, or it was, and it will be again. This is a minor dysfunctional bump in the road. We will be okay. We will be okay. But when I talked to some of the administrators who were left, and I give the board some credit, I think this was done without their knowledge, I was told he was never given any deficiencies 20 minutes before a board meeting or 30 minutes on the back porch of the school administration building was handed a letter that said, here are your deficiencies. Read them, we'll talk about it later. Guy who had 27 years in this school district. That is unacceptable, irrespective of how you feel about when principals should leave and how long they should be there. So, I've gone on longer than the best 2 minutes. I apologize, but I feel very strongly about that. I want to be very clear. Do not vote for me if you expect me to jump on board and give the superintendent another chance. I'm not saying I'm going to go in with any specific action to try to take if I'm elected. I'm simply agreeing with the course of action the board has decided to take. I think it is prudent. It is what we need. And the last thing I'll say is this. When you're a high-level leader in an organization, sometimes you have to go. When you're a polarizing figure in a leadership position, sometimes you have to go. You've seen it in the news, you've seen it all over the world, you've seen it in your life. Sometimes a polarizing figure has to go. And I was reminded that by a townsman one day downtown who said, I like some of the changes, I had no problem with our community, but we're too polarized right now, and it's time to go. So, again, there are lots of reasons to follow the board's lead on not renewing the contract. And it's not personal, it's school business. So, if you elect me to the school board, members of the West Platte District, I promise